And we are back
That we
with
are.
another episode of the Purple Rain podcast with Simply and Sutton. How you doing
Yes,
today?
sir. Man, I'm good, man. Just had work pretty much all day. Got off about an hour ago, and now we are here. I am ready to talk some Ravens football, some NFL talk. How are you, though, bro?
Doing good, doing good. Just trying to stay positive, stay safe, stay healthy. Hope
Yeah.
everybody else is too. And still taking that L, kind of digesting
Yeah,
it from
definitely.
Sunday.
Yeah.
But looking forward to this Sunday and let's get some revenge out there. Why not?
Oh, yeah. Definitely got to get some revenge. What up, Gamer God? What up, Zay King 56? Thank you guys for coming out watching the show. If you are in here watching live already, sound off in the comment section. We want to say what's up to you guys. We want to interact with you guys. We want to have conversation with you guys at the end of the day. But let's see.
It's that simple
You
as
know what I
that.
think is pretty cool? I think what's pretty cool like going on right now, if you notice, if you're watching this live stream, you see we have our background, the Ravens versus Titans Week 11 preview. By the way, shout out to this guy here, Alex. He, put all that together. He's a beast with like all of the, photo editing, video. He's tough with all of that stuff. But
Appreciate that.
what I think is pretty cool is that he put the crown emoji in there, and he's actually the crown emoji is right above him on his screen right now.
Oh
So
my! I didn't
like,
even get
yeah,
that. Wow.
that's pretty cool. I didn't even realize that. King Alex here. So let's
King
see.
Henry. You need to stop
King
King Henry.
Henry. Speaking of King Henry, yeah, we'll definitely get into him a lot today. I want to kick something off though. I know
Okay.
we talk about like fantasy stuff like towards the end, but I kind of wanted to like just real quick. I wanted to gauge everybody's opinions. By the way, what's up, Zach? What's up, KLA Sports? I wanted to kind of ask you about something. So I made a fantasy trade
Okay.
yesterday, and I traded away Dalvin Cook, and I also traded away Keenan Allen. And in return, I got Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill. Do you think that was a good trade for me?
Who are the Vikings playing in the upcoming weeks? Because I watched the game on Monday and Dalvin Cook didn't do too much.
Yeah, he played the Bears, a very, very stingy run D. And, that's divisional opponent and everything like that, too. So that was a really rough matchup for them. He still had over 100 yards. But
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, on 30 carries, though. So it's
Yeah, I
like
was
he better get
watching.
100, yeah.
He had his biggest run wiped out to a holding that it was iffy.
Mm,
It was
mm.
iffy. But, I mean, he's
But
still the best running back, But
he is the best running back in football. Yeah,
Tyreek Hill in December is lethal.
lethal.
And then Derrick Henry, at this time of the year, they don't rely on Tannehill. They rely on King Henry. They're going to give him that ball 30 times, 35 times. I
They're
think
definitely going to feed him.
I'm going to go with that. That was a good trade. I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm going
mean,
to go
and
with
I
it.
think that the dude that I traded him away to, he like accepted the trade with like, no questions asked, and I'm like, oh, okay. But here's who Dalvin Cook plays in the fantasy football playoffs. He has matchups against the Jaguars in week 13. I think that's week 1 of the fantasy football playoffs, and the Jaguars are ranked 27th against the run, so he should do well there. But then weeks 14, 15, and 16, so really crunch time for fantasy football playoffs, he has Tampa Bay, number 10 run defense. Then he has Chicago again, number 5 run defense. And then he has New Orleans after that, who's the number 2 run defense in the league right now. So I think
That's
I
like
think
that.
that I came out on top with that. And just to let you guys know, Derrick Henry's schedule going forward after our game. Man, Derrick Henry, it's nothing but green pastures for him, man. I'm telling you. Week 13, he has the Browns. Okay, so they have the number 9 ranked run defense. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But then weeks 14, 15, and 16, he's got Jacksonville, 14. Then Detroit on week 15. And then Green Bay on week 16. Those are all very, very, very weak run defenses. They're actually the bottom 3 in the league. So, yeah.
That's looking good for you.
Looking good for me. So I think I won that trade. Dalvin Cook for Derrick Henry. I think I won that trade.
I also want to give a quick shout out to your barber because I see the clean fade.
Oh yeah. I had to get a little clean
Shout out to the
cut
barber.
yesterday. Yeah, man. My man, Marcus. He's loving clippers. A very, very nice barber. Has his own shop and everything like that. Love the guy. Shout out to him. I was just talking to him actually yesterday about this podcast. He was like,
Really?
it's really dope and everything like that. He loves what we're doing. So, yeah. Shout out to him. But yeah, what you about to say?
I was just gonna get right into it. Ravens Titans.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna inform you guys now. I see a Matabuke breakout game. I did love the way I love the way he played this past week.
Yeah.
But bigger news: Calais Campbell did not practice. Neither did Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
And I'm getting some really, really bad flashbacks to a certain January in 2020, a warm day of just Derrick Henry running all over us.
Man, it really sucks. It really sucked, past tense, seeing, guys like Damian Harris and Rex Burkhead just carve our run defense up, knowing that the next week we're going to have to face the most imposing running back in the league in Derrick Henry. And I just don't know how we're going to plan to stop him. I'm scared of his average yards per carry that he's going to have against us. I'm just spitballing. I think he's going to be averaging like 7 yards a carry against us.
That's really, really fair to say. I definitely have to agree with you there. I know we're talking about negatives, but let me give you some positives. Jimmy Smith was limited, and our guy, LJ Fort, was full participation.
Okay.
So we should have LJ Fort back, that veteran. Hopefully, he's playing. But linebackers should be good this week. It's just that run stuff. Not too confident unless somebody just breaks out. Broderick Washington, I'm talking to you. Please.
Please, we need you. We need Broderick Washington. And I don't know. I didn't get to watch like the all 22 footage of the game. But I don't think that Broderick Washington played too bad, did he? I thought he actually played pretty well, right?
Yeah, he played. I was just saying I just need somebody just a no name, that somebody who casual fans won't know about. You see 96 in the backfield. Just what is Derrick Henry? 28? 20? I don't know what his number is. But
shoot, that's a good question.
Because I know we saw 29 turned around as a lead blocker, like my guy Raven C said. He turned Earl Thomas into a lead blocker last year.
The most embarrassing thing that I have seen, like as a Ravens fan, like watching that game when that happened, and then them, showing the replay of it in slow motion like 5 or 6 times. I'm just like, this is really bad. This game's going really, really bad. I hope that doesn't happen this week to anybody, especially anybody in our secondary. But I think that Wink Martindale, look, he's going to have to draw up like a genius game plan. And we're going to have to be able to make adjustments just like we did last week. That is one thing that I will commend the Ravens for. We have the last 2 games. We've made proper adjustments to put us in better situations. Defensively and offensively. Like defensively last week in the first half, we could not stop, the run game after Big
No matter who it was. No
matter who was running, they were just gashing us literally every single play. And even the first drive of the second half of that Pats game, they were still gashing us. But after that, we were locking it down, really. So I was proud of the boys for that. And I think it was definitely a lot of edge pressure. We were firing off the edge with, anybody that we could. Guys like Marcus Peters were flying off the edge.
Loved it. I love it. I mean? He almost blew the play. That should have been a sack. I mean, that wasn't his fault. I mean, he timed that as perfectly as he could. And speaking about the Patriots game last week, it always happens against Bill Belichick. He runs those sneaky trick plays, and they caught us again last week with Kobe Myers throwing a touchdown. Just to give you guys a flashback, I don't want to bring back some bad memories, but Derrick Henry threw for a touchdown against us too in the red zone in the playoff game. And this is Mike Vrabel. This is a root of that Belichick coaching tree. Don't let him do that to us 2 weeks in a row, or 2 games in a row either. Right. I mean that playing the Titans 2 times and playing our games back to back, because that is very embarrassing. As a fan, seeing my team on these highlight reels of a wide receiver throwing to a running back who Moss is our first round pick, can't be having that.
Can't have that. Speaking of that game last year, remember the first touchdown they scored on us? I think Tannehill threw it to Jonnu Smith.
That wasn't a touchdown.
I didn't think that was a touchdown either.
Just because his left butt cheek, he did not have possession. The ball bounced when he.
Yeah. No. I was like, once I saw them call that a touchdown, I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a long game. And it definitely was. But I do think that the main, and I know we haven't really gotten into, keys to victory, but I'm going to just start it off. Keys to victory for the Ravens, we cannot, and I emphasize and I stress, we cannot let the Titans, Mike Vrabel and the Titans, and Derrick Henry and the Titans out physical us. We cannot
100%.
let them be more physical than we are. I know that I think I was watching Final Drive from the Ravens. Yeah, they were talking about how like this week in practice, they're focusing on physicality. You know what I mean? Because you need that. You need that against a team like the Titans, because you know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to run Derrick Henry all over us, right down our throats, and we cannot allow that to happen. It's just as simple as that. So I think that's probably my biggest key to victory in playing this team. Like, we need to let them know that we are not going to go lightly or to be taken lightly. And I think Zay King 56, he says, this is probably the game Malik Harrison was drafted for. Now, I know that a lot of people, they watch. If you're watching this, you probably watch, Engraven, Joe Nubo, Sonny, Coach, Raven C, Keeping It Real, all those guys, and I think I was on one of their podcasts like a couple months ago. I think when we drafted Malik Harrison, I think you were on the podcast too, Alex. And I was saying that Malik Harrison and Patrick Queen is like the Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah,
defense.
I remember that,
They can be that dynamic, and I think that Malik Harrison, he's really gonna have to bring that thunder this week. And I know he's been playing really well lately. The past 2 games, he's gotten more opportunities since LJ Fort's been out. So I think if, of course, LJ Fort is gonna get the start over Malik Harrison, but the snaps that Malik Harrison does play, I think they're gonna be, super, super valuable. I think he's actually gonna do really, really well, or at least I hope so. Stuffing those holes and that A gap or that B gap, and not letting Derrick Henry really get to that second level. What do you think, though?
So I know we're talking about the touchdowns from last year. I'm not going to say the same key, because that is a big, big key. Another key, though, remember when Marlon Humphrey got burnt by their third or fourth string corner on a play action? Don't bite on the play action.
Yeah.
Because we know that they're going to run, but we also know that Tannehill, as much as I don't think he was worth all that money, he's a good quarterback.
Right.
And he will drop a dime on us. And they have A.J. Brown. They have Corey Davis, 2 very, very good receivers. And we have 2 very good corners. But those same 2 very good corners, one of them got burnt last year in the playoffs in the biggest game I'd say Marlon Humphrey's ever played in. So I don't want that to happen either. And I definitely agree with you, just the physicality. But I'm going to look, as well as Malik Harrison, I'm going to look at Deshaun Elliott, because he's taking over where Earl Thomas was. And what Earl Thomas wouldn't do is would hit. He would tap people, wouldn't hit. And Deshaun Elliott these past 2 weeks has laid the shoulder. He got fined for the one against the Colts and got a flag for the other against the Patriots, which wasn't a flag. But I'm looking to see him just bring that dog out.
That thump.
And he's going to lower the shoulder, and he's going to let you know, watch out for 32, because you come my way, you're going to get hit. Simple as that.
Yeah. And I mean, shout out to Deshaun Elliott, man. He's definitely one of the more underrated pieces on our defense, period. And Christopher Swain says the game is won at the line of scrimmage. Absolutely.
Yes.
And
100%.
That even goes towards Alex's point that he was just making. Don't let them beat us deep on the play action. And the way that we don't get beat deep on play action is if our defensive backs feel comfortable enough staying disciplined in the secondary and not trying to cheat up, and tackle Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? Every game is won in the trenches. So as long as we don't get pushed around, I think we should be okay.
And that goes on the offense as well. I mean, I know we're talking about defense, but the same can be said. We've been getting beat in the trenches on offense.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the offensive line this week, because it's not Lamar's fault. Don't give me any of that BS. That line needs to protect and hold their blocks. Our running backs and Gus and JK, they've been getting the job done. But when it comes to passing time, I mean, where's the protection? And the receivers, where are you opening up to get open on the routes? And I know we had that video I sent you on Twitter today.
You want to watch it? Let's pull it up.
Let's pull it up, because I hope it gets you as frustrated as it got me and Sutton, because it's just, you're in the NFL, and the fact they couldn't get separation was, I'd say 15 seconds they had.
Yeah,
they couldn't get
15 seconds is a long time. I don't know. Well, that play was pretty long now that I think about it, because he went to one side of the field and he went all the way to the other side of the field. But I'm going to show you guys. Let's see. I've got it right here.
Yeah,
you guys can see. Pull it up here. I'm going to start it over. So you can see kind of at the start of the play, nobody's really getting open. You can see it's kind of like a stale slant, so like just crossing routes. The Patriots are all over it. Nobody's really making too many improvisations, which is what I think is important when you're playing with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. You have to be able to leak out, maybe go up top. And I think Duvernay was the only one who was trying to do a little something like that, but
surprise,
the Patriots did a really good job. Right, yeah, surprise.
The one who we've been calling deserves more snaps. You know what? Willie Snead and Devin Duvernay. Give them more to snap because they both of them have earned it. And going back to that play now, look at 78. Look at Orlando Brown on, like he just stops, like he has no one to block, and then their spy comes after him, and he doesn't even pick it up.
Right.
And that's another thing too. Like as much as I love him, it's like your head on the line has to be on a swivel.
Right.
And there it's just he kind of just lost himself. And I just feel Lamar needs to, if he can scramble more like he did last year and like this offense would be in a different spot. I feel like he's been trying to throw more. And I don't know if we have anybody who watched the Rams and Seahawks. Russell Wilson did a similar thing. He had an open lane, a first down. He forced it in the back of the end zone, picked off.
Yeah. Yep.
So I feel like these quarterbacks kind of just don't want to run and maybe prove somebody wrong, but just do your thing. Do what'll get the win, do what'll get the first down, and do what will get yards.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I just think that in watching this play over again, you really just see how amazing Lamar Jackson is, right? Like you can just look at him like there's nothing there. Watching the play starts again, there's nothing there. He's going from one end, he's going to the other end. He's making guys miss.
Look at that juke.
Look at that juke, man.
Oh, two jukes. Just
two jukes.
Three.
And you got to think, this is in the pouring rain. I know it doesn't look like it, but it was pouring raining while this is happening. So he barely even has like, the footing that he really should have when he's running the football like this. And he's still making guys look just elementary. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. He's making it look too easy. So, I know a lot of the talk of the town this week, though, has been, about Lamar and does he need more weapons on offense? Now, do you think that what do you think about the whole wide receiver situation, since Willie Snead is undoubtedly our number one wide receiver right now? I mean, he's proven it. He's stepping up and he's making plays. He's the only one making plays. So do you think that we need help, like big help at wide receiver, or what do you think is the issue there?
So I see our guy, Zach George. He said it best. Willie Snead has been our best receiver for the past few games.
Yeah.
And that is 100% of facts. If you're a Ravens fan and you say no, you haven't watched the games.
Right.
As for weapon-wise, when I see Duvernay get the ball, he makes plays happen. I don't know if you remember, he had a play in the game on Sunday, a short little screen. He takes up the field for 20-some yards.
Dude, his acceleration is crazy. Like, once he gets the ball and he really gets going, it's like he's just running by guys. He's running by our guys. He's running by their guys. It's crazy.
Yeah. What we look in Duvernay is what Hollywood could be. I mean, size-wise, but it's the speed. That's what we want. I mean, we're not asking you to hit a curl route. Like, he gets the ball and he'll make something happen, which I love to see. Snead is your possession receiver. I get that. I just don't like everybody depending on Dez. Dez hasn't played consistently in 3 years. I mean, I know he's been training, but that up-to-game speed and training speed are two different things.
Yeah.
I feel like if we want to get some weapons, we'll have to look in the offseason and in the draft. But then again, I don't trust the Ravens drafting anybody because they haven't given me a reason to. I mean, what would you think about that? And speaking of weapons, we did sign Luke Wilson, for those who don't know. I love that signing. Take it away.
I mean, like you said, I don't think Dez is like, our savior. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's possible that Dez could come in and, definitely help us out. But it's just tough, man. I think that we definitely should buy into, if Dez is not the answer, we need to buy a receiver. It's just as simple as that. We need, like, I don't care if it's this year or at the beginning of next year, before next year, we need to get a better receiver, like a certified possession guy, just bona fide third down. He's going to get open in some way, shape, or form. If it's one-on-one coverage, he's going to come down with it 60-40. You know what I mean? So 60% of the time he gets it, 40% of the time somebody else gets it. And Snead, Zayking56, he says Snead has proven he can win 50-50 balls. So has Duvernay and Prochet. Start those three. I think the problem that a lot of people have with Prochet is that he's not the fastest guy, like, at all. So Yak would be an issue, and I'm not really too sure about how proven his route running is coming from SMU, and playing for in the NFL now. So, but you never know until you try these guys out, right? So, I mean, it's really tough to call, man, because we really haven't seen what we need to see from our whole receiving core in order to say, accurately whether or not we should go out and, buy like a top 5, top 10 wide receiver. Just the Ravens fan in me. The fan in me wants us to do that, but the logical, like, football fan is saying that we need to give these guys more time. We need to give these guys more time, and we need to give Duvernay more opportunities. 100%. Duvernay is like the biggest one for me. Like literally, I said it like a couple days ago. Every time he gets the ball, he's like a shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
And we just need more of that.
So I'm looking at the free agents for the 2021 class, and some of these guys may resign. Somebody might get cut. So I'm just gonna give you some names that kind of stick out. So Willie Snead is a free agent after this year for us. For guys I would look to get personally, AJ Green. I wanted him this past year. I know he doesn't look good with the Bengals right now, but he just doesn't want to be there.
He doesn't.
Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones. That is two names that I would take in a heartbeat on this team.
But are those guys who are really gonna put us over the top though?
You're right.
Those guys that are kind of like on the same level as, I don't know, maybe like a Willie Snead. Honestly, I just don't see Kenny Golladay as being like that bona fide receiver for us.
He's better than what we have. Honestly, I mean, we look at Boykin. I thought Boykin was gonna be that guy. I really thought it, and I don't know what he has done. If you ask me his name, what Miles Boykin play sticks out to you? It was last year against Seattle when Lamar threw it up and he came down with it. And it wasn't even a possession. He just was in the right spot.
Yeah. It was the one where he was like falling as he caught it.
Exactly. That was the one. I'm looking Sammy Watkins, Josh Reynolds from the Rams. I think he's not known, but he's a really good slot receiver. Whoever gets him, he'll be a stud. Our best friend, Brashad Perryman, is a free agent. Juju Smith-Schuster, but I feel he'll get locked up by the Steelers. Yeah, Kendrick Bourne, Chris Godwin.
Ooh,
he is a free agent.
That's nice.
Do you break the bank for Chris Godwin?
Do we break the bank for him? I don't think we break the bank for him, but EDC is just like, he's such a proven GM already. I'm sure we could get a guy like Chris Godwin for a pretty good price. I'm pretty sure we could. As long as we can get a guy like Chris Godwin to buy into our system, say, hey, look, we're a winning organization. We have a bunch of other guys. We got to pay Lamar after this year. So, if you want to play with us, play with a good team, and you want to win, you'll take a little pay cut, And a lot of players do. They don't have any issue doing that. You can see a guy like Dez, who's, of course, proven himself in the NFL time and time again. Now, of course, he hasn't played in a couple of years, but we're not paying him like no big money or anything like that. So I think it's interesting that you said that Snead is a free agent after this season. Do you think we let him walk, or do you think we re-sign him?
No, I feel we re-sign him because he was producing with Flacco and producing with Lamar. I think he's 29, 30. I say this because I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's say the Ravens keep Lamar for his, next year will be his 4th year, correct?
Yes.
And then he'll have that option. Let's say we don't. I think we'll pick the option up, but let's say we just go in a different way with the quarterback. Snead has proven to be good with Flacco in center and Lamar, so he can play with a pocket quarterback or a running quarterback. That's why I say we keep him, and he knows the scheme because we saw what happened when we just completely just throw out the receiving core and get a new one in. It takes time for them to gel. So I feel like you need that one constant. He's that vet of the group, not the vet I would like an AJ Green. But I feel like he's just the smart, right guy to have as a receiver 3, receiver 4, and just as a possession guy who will, you throw the ball at him, he'll catch it.
Our guy Zach George says Snead is 27.
27? Sign him. Yeah, easy.
Let's see. Kenny Silverman says we need a Bolden type receiver, big, physical, with hands. That would be ideal.
A straight dog.
Listen, man, Anquan Bolden was that guy. He made Flacco look so good back in the day, man. Flacco, I go back and watch Joe Flacco highlights, like when he was like really in his prime, and a lot of the times it really just looked like he was just throwing up the football. Like he wasn't necessarily throwing it on a dime. He wasn't making any at least not too many spectacular plays coming from him. But it was more so Bolden's over there. Let me just get the ball to him. He had a cannon of an arm. That was no issue. And he would just get the ball to him and Bolden would just come down with it. And
I feel
whether,
like... Yeah. My bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say whether or not Lamar is that same type of quarterback who's just going to be able to push the ball to any receiver. in any place. I'm not sure just yet. It's not proven just yet, but I think we could benefit from a guy like Bolden. But what were you about to say?
I feel like it goes without saying, Bolden is the best receiver the Ravens have had in franchise history.
Ooh, hot
I
take.
feel like I just feel for me it's him, Derek Mason. Those are the two toss-ups. I mean, if we had Steve Smith his whole career, it would be Steve Smith. But Bolden, when he was here, made an impact like I have never seen before from a receiver in Baltimore. He would go out there, and I look at it. It was 3rd and 1 in the Super Bowl. We toss a fade to him on the sidelines, and he catches it. I'm like, that's how much trust we had in '81.
Yeah, man. He was so good, man. And this was even after his time in Arizona. And you remember in Arizona, was it? Remember he took that really big hit, that nasty hit.
Yep.
And it like knocked him out for a while, and then he came to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he came to the Ravens. And he just balled out, man. And we just, man, I wish we could have another guy like that. But let's see what the chat is talking about here. Our guy Raven C, shout out to you, man. He says Snead is gone. EDC is going to get more weapons in the draft while picking up a free agent receiver as Boykin moves to tight end. But it's interesting, though, because John Harbaugh kind of shut down the idea of moving Boykin to tight end, at least in the near future. I'm not sure if he ruled it out completely, but I think for the rest of the year, we're not going to be moving. We're not going to see Miles Boykin at tight end. But get more weapons in the draft. It's just we don't have, like you said, man, we have no reason to trust the Ravens front office in drafting a number 1 wide receiver. We just don't.
Now, if I'm sitting here as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to say, get me a receiver because I know whoever they get, they did their research. I know he'll turn into a stud.
Yeah.
But as a Ravens fan, if you ask me to get you a lineman, obviously I'm going to trust you. But receivers, no. And the ones we have now, Duvernay, he has the potential, but we don't use it.
Right.
I know we were talking about Prochet. I mean, more snaps can't hurt him because I want to know what the hell is Boykin doing when he's out there. Is he even on the field? Because Lamar barely looks his way.
Yeah.
And I feel like Boykin has more faith when Sam Cook is throwing it to him than Lamar. So put a guy on the field like Prochet. He's a 5th, 6th round pick. I remember making his highlights from SMU. He could go up there and get it, and he just has some sure hands. So why not?
Oh yeah, definitely has some sure hands. Like, I mean, but I just think that a guy like, and I know we keep bringing up Devin Duvernay. It's just or James Prochet. I want to see the hungry guys. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see. I know Duvernay's hungry. I know James Prochet would love to get in there and get some snaps. You know, Dez. I know he's hungry. He's been chomping at the bit trying to get back into the league for years. Yeah. He almost did it, a year and a half ago with the Saints, and he tore his Achilles. So
like his first practice, that was
super sad. But like we just like you said, we just need to get more opportunities for these guys. Our guy Rush, shout out to you, bro. He says maybe another Torrey Smith.
See, Torrey I know Smith. My guy Raven C said Torrey Smith. He would get you PIs. He had his drop issues.
Yeah.
But he would burn you. But that's what we have Hollywood for, to burn you. And he hasn't been burning anybody.
Because he's not physical enough. He's not as physical as Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith, like, he had the physicality. He had the perfect mix between physicality and speed. You know what I mean? He can get off he can break a press coverage at the line and then get around you and get downfield and, have a maybe a step or two on his defender. You know, Hollywood is fast enough where he can outrun pretty much anybody in the secondary. But if they jam him up, then the timing's going to be off with Lamar. And, we have even less blocking this season because we lost Yonda and Stanley. Yeah. So it's really tough. But speaking of our offense as a whole, our guy, Greg Roman, today, he mentioned how this offense is going to basically it's going to look different. What were his exact words? I can't remember what he said, quote for quote.
I'll be more than happy to bring it on up.
Yeah. I would love to know exactly what he said.
Greg Roman says the offense will forge a new identity. Don't know what to take from that, but he says that it's not going to be another plug-and-play, next man up situation. They're going to have a new identity going forward. That's how it goes sometimes. Okay, show me, because every time Greg Roman speaks, I just see the same thing week in, week out. Don't know how you feel about that. Don't know how the chat feels about that. That's just me. Like, I need him to stick to his word, and I want to see something. I want to see an offense that gets down the field, gets 7 points, and consistently does it.
So do you think that means that we'll see just in a vacuum? I think that this means that more passing plays, more play action on first down, on first and second down. I think that that's what it means. I mean, we have to, because you think about it, we lost Nick Boyle. The whole reason he said what he said today at the press conference, because, you know, the topic of discussion was Nick Boyle and how he was lost for the season. And Nick Boyle, he was mentioning how he is one of the best, if not the best, blocking tight end in the league, and we're losing him. So, and he said it's not going to be a next man up type of thing. We're forging a new identity. So does that mean instead of running all the time and, you know, getting behind lanes with Nick Boyle, are we going to be play actioning, rolling out, moving the pocket, throwing downfield? What do you, I mean?
It's hard to say that because I'm reading this article.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Nick Boyle went down in our playoff loss. And after that, we trailed by 22 points.
Yikes.
So it's I hope it's not. I mean, Luke Wilson can block. Mark Andrews can block. But does this mean – I don't know. I don't want to say we're going to pass more because we're not a passing offense. Passing offenses, you got the Buccaneers. They have 3 number 1 caliber receivers. You look at the Saints. They got Michael Thomas. They have Emmanuel Sanders. And we don't have anybody up to their caliber. So I don't get – if we were to throw it that much, who is it going to and who's going to get open necessarily? And right now we rank 31st in the league passing offense, averaging 184 yards per game.
You know, geez, man. I think that in my honest opinion, I think that Greg Roman saying what he's saying, like we're forging a new identity as an offense, I think that is code for, okay, we're going to let Lamar Jackson loose now. You know,
yeah.
I felt like they were kind of like, I don't want to say babying him, but kind of like holding his hand throughout the beginning of the season. You know, yeah, he's not, they haven't let him be the quarterback, if that makes sense. You know, they haven't let him get to the line, you know, kind of call his own plays, do his own thing as he sees fit, because he's still, I mean, he's 22. You know what I mean? So I'm sure they are trying to hold his hand a lot. And now that we're kind of like, you know, we're injured on offense, we're injured on defense, the way we're going to win games, most of our games from here on out, is our X factor, which is Lamar Jackson. Yep. So I think that, you know, from here going forward, we're probably going to see a lot more of Lamar Jackson running the ball, throwing it, like hopefully, prayerfully. We all saw that terrible play with those terrible routes just a couple minutes ago. Hopefully the pass concepts will, you know, warrant that.
Yeah.
I hope so. One can only hope. But that's what I think Greg Roman means by forging a new identity. More Lamar.
Okay, I want to bring this up to you.
Okay.
It was a stat Sunday Night Football. We run the most plays out of the pistol formation and the least amount of plays under center. Maybe we see some more under center runs, under center passes. I mean, I think back to under center plays with Lamar. I think he was under center for this, the Hollywood slant for a touchdown week 1 against Miami last year.
Really?
I mean, we are always in the pistol, and maybe that's why teams know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Why not switch it up? Maybe go in the shotgun, go under center, and hopefully this week Matt Skura has his snaps on point. Because if not, I feel like with everything coming out, he's on a short leash.
Oh,
hopefully
yeah,
it doesn't rain.
definitely.
Hopefully it does not rain in Baltimore. Actually, let me check the weather as we're
please.
talking about the game.
Rain just makes me nervous at this point.
Because somebody's going to get hurt. I just hate it. Sunday is looking 54 and clear in Baltimore. Perfect.
Clear? Okay. Jeez,
so,
thank God.
Yeah, let's hope in that, you know, just the offense looks different. And I wouldn't mind seeing more under center plays because we have our version. I'm not calling him Derrick Henry, but our version of Derrick Henry and Gus Edwards. And then we have J.K. Dobbins, and then we saw Justice Hill in. So let's get back to what made us win games was run the ball down your throat, good defense, put you for a big pass play every now and then. And Hollywood, I'm looking for a deep pass from you. You know what? Oof. You haven't done anything this year. And if you have, it's very minimal. Please.
Please. More deep plays, passes for Hollywood Brown. Let's use him to his best abilities, please. That's all I ask as a Ravens fan. I want us to use our personnel to the best of their abilities. That's all I ask. Now, let me ask you about this. By the way, guys, like and subscribe. Like this video.
Yeah,
Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
And if you like the shirt my guy Sutton's wearing, go and cop it. Go and cop it.
Yeah, you can actually cop this sweatshirt. I know it's fall time now. The temperature's dropping. This is a super cozy sweatshirt. Made by Overlooked Underrated. That's what the OLUR stands for. And then it's kind of on the side right here. This is the box logo sweatshirt in the navy blue with the yellow as well. So you can actually go shop olerclothing.com, and I'll put that in the chat so you guys can have that link. But what I was going to ask you is, with our receiving core, Hollywood Brown and Lamar Jackson, their chemistry, their dynamic, their relationship. So anybody who's anybody as a Ravens fan knows that Lamar Jackson and Marquise Hollywood Brown are the best of friends. And lately it has seemed like their friendship has negatively impacted their play on the field, because it seems like at some points, Lamar is either trying to force it to Hollywood, or Hollywood is not, Hollywood kind of dug a hole for himself after he made that tweet, because now every pass that he drops, every play he doesn't make, people are going to be at his neck saying like, oh, I thought you were a soldier. I thought this, I thought that. So, geez, man, I just need them to get on the same page, and it's all going to be from the help of Greg Roman. I would love it if Greg Roman, Lamar Jackson, and Hollywood Brown all sat in the same room by themselves and just had a talk. Okay, this season hasn't really been going. Yeah, professional talk. They could say, this season hasn't really been going as well as we would have liked it to go. What can we do moving forward in order to get you guys, on the same page and clicking like you were last year? Because I feel like that's the missing piece, right? We can get them clicking, firing on all cylinders.
100% agree. And I feel like this is the perfect game for it to happen, because I'm not too sure if you guys kept up, but the Titans have had a few players miss practice today. I'm trying to pull it up, and some big names that most NFL fans actually know. Let me try and pull it up here, because if we're going to hit a deep threat, with guys like Kenny Vaccaro, limited practice, their corner, Kareem Orr, limited participation. But here's what I'm looking at. Jadeveon Clowney didn't practice today or yesterday.
Oh,
that's
really?
Big. A.J. Brown didn't practice today. Their line, and we're going to talk about defense as well. Starting right guard, Roger Saffold didn't practice both days this week. Center, Ben Jones didn't practice. Adoree Jackson, starting cornerback, didn't practice. And another one of the cornerbacks didn't practice. So I'm looking, they're hurt as well.
Yeah.
And if we see their safety's limited, their corner's not practicing, why not this be the perfect game?
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like we really don't have too much to lose, at this point. Our team's very young. So let's just say we don't make the playoffs. Let's just say we don't win the Super Bowl this year, right? I think that the best thing for us to do is to just try to develop as a team, throwing the football. And like you said, what better week to do that? What better opportunity to have than this week? They're banged up, so let our guys go out there. Hopefully, like I said, Greg Roman and our wide receivers coaches and our coaches over on the offensive side of the football can draw up some really nice pass concepts in order to scheme guys open. Scheme guys open for Lamar, and not just between the numbers. Let outside Lamar kind of do his outside the numbers, because we've seen Lamar throw it on a dime. Shout out to Trace McSorley.
Of course.
Throw it on a dime, you know what I mean? Like
he's not even trying.
Like he's not even trying, you know what I mean? So, and we saw that in the Cardinals game. We saw that in the Titans game as well, when he had those deep shots to Hollywood Brown. Let's see. Zay-King56, he says Lamar needs to have that Hollywood friendships with other receivers. I agree, man. I agree.
I feel like as a quarterback, you have to have a great relationship with your receivers, because that's your guys you have this chemistry with. I look at Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I'm not claiming anybody to be him, because in my opinion, he's the best quarterback in the league. Don't at me. But you look at him with like Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, they play backyard football. If their read isn't there after, I say, 3 or 4 seconds, he's going to scramble out the pocket, and they're just going to do what they have to do and get open.
They make it work.
Exactly. And I feel like we haven't seen that with the Ravens. I mean, if you're Hollywood, you have the speed. If it's not there, I mean, you're fast enough to go across the field in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Devin Duvernay can as well. So I definitely agree with Zay King's point. Like, once their friendship, if it grows, their chemistry would just get even better, and it would translate to on the field without a doubt.
Absolutely. And just the improvisation that is needed by wide receivers when you're playing with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, like I was talking about earlier, is super, super duper important. Right. So, I mean, like if you're covered by a guy and you see your quarterback scrambling out of the pocket, the play is kind of breaking down. Just the simple solution as a wide receiver, as a tight end. I know it's easier said than done, but this is something that needs to be put in their heads. Hey, run to an open patch of grass,
Easy.
Run to somewhere it's open and then let Lamar kind of get it to you, because Lamar finds guys even better when he's on the run as opposed to when he's in the pocket. And I think that speaks volumes. So if we run plays where we even move the pocket a little bit more, get guys in motion, that sort of thing, I feel like Lamar can be a lot better. But he definitely still does need to develop, Lamar Jackson, that is, and just consistently throwing these passes and getting them to where they need to be. I really think that I wanted to show you guys a video. I was going to show you guys last week. It's on the Ravens Instagram. I'm just going to show you guys kind of what I saw or what I see from Lamar Jackson. I'm kind of going to break this down too. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So you guys can see this is Lamar Jackson in practice, kind of just, throwing the football around, that sort of thing. Now, a lot of people say Lamar Jackson can't throw. That's just blatantly false. That's false. But I will admit that there are, and I do feel like there are some deficiencies in his throwing game and his mechanics. 100%. So if you look at the way he throws the football, traditionally, most quarterbacks who, are the more accurate quarterbacks, they generate power with their hips and they generate accuracy with their arm. Now, Lamar Jackson, when he goes and throws the football, he doesn't really sit down on his hips and turn his hips enough to generate that power. He's generating most of the power with his arm. So therefore, the responsibility of the power and the accuracy of the throw all falls on his arm. Whereas other quarterbacks are splitting it up. They're using their hips to generate that power and their arm to get that touch on the football. That's why guys like Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson are so good with that deep ball, because they know how to actually, make those throws. And Lamar, you can see in this video here, he really doesn't turn his hips a whole lot. I know this is just in practice, but if you watch the real games as well, he doesn't do a whole lot of hip turning. He's mostly arms, and he's, like I said, he's putting the full responsibility of the throw on his arms. And I've heard this actually from, I brought it to a couple of people who have played the quarterback position before, and one quarterback's coach, and they kind of agreed, you generate most of the power in a throw with your hips and the lower half of your body, and it's also in the wrist. Ravens says, I think Rodgers uses his arm as well. It's in the wrist too. That might be another thing, the wrist action, but I do think that it is important to, generate that power with the lower half of your body and then delivering the throw, the accuracy, the touch with your wrist, with your arm. What do you think about that, though? Have you seen any mechanical issues in his throwing? Did you kind of see the same things, or what do you see?
So I see what you're saying. I don't really pay attention too much to his mechanicals, but since I know we're critiquing him now, but what I will say is I don't see him throw off his back foot, which I love. That was my biggest issue with Flacco, off that back foot, and it's always short or just doesn't get where he wants it to be. Yeah. And I mean, what you're saying is 100% true. I mean, I don't keep up with that, but could that be the reason why we don't see more passes outside the numbers? Because of the way he throws?
Could be.
Man,
it's possible.
Yeah. But also that it just could be people not getting open, which is like we saw. Also but it's a good mixture of both. I mean, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say it's all the receiver's fault. I'm obviously going to put some blame on the quarterback, but the quarterback's hardest position to play in NFL. Absolutely. So here's the hope, and we can just turn it around this week, like we said. I mean, you never know. We might see those changes this week.
Yeah, I hope we do. And here's the thing about Lamar. Like you said, I know we're critiquing him right now, but the cool thing is about Lamar Jackson is that he throws the way that he does, and he still is so accurate. Like a lot of the time, he's so amazing. It just goes to show how talented he is as a football player, as a quarterback. It's just some certain things which I feel like he will hone in on because he's still super young. This is only his fourth season in the NFL, and he's kind of going through the motions right now. So I think he will kind of get the mechanics together. The more quarterback coaches he works with in the offseason as he improves, I think this won't be a problem going forward in the future. But just something that I noticed, something that I wanted to point out to you guys. Just wanted to point that out. But we are about 45 minutes into this live stream. So let's go ahead and just kind of preview this Ravens versus Titans game. Let's talk about how, our score predictions.
Okay.
And then I gave my key to victory earlier. I think that we cannot get pushed around. That cannot be a thing against, this Titan. Yeah, we have to be super physical if we want a chance to win this game. But what would you say is your number one key to victory for the Ravens to get a W this week?
Okay. I mean, I said be physical. See that crown above me? Stop that man, King Henry. Simple as that. Steelers did it. I don't know if you watched their game against the Titans a few weeks back. It's like 4th and 1, 4th and goal. They stopped them. TJ Watt came across the edge and just stopped them. Yannick Ngakoue, I'm looking at you right now. I know you're not a rushing defender, but we got you for this reason. To apply pressure. I don't care if it's quarterback, running back, wide receiver, as lined up as a quarterback. Derrick Henry lined up as a quarterback. Apply pressure. Simple as that. And let's play our own game. I feel like most of the time we lose, we get away from what we do best, which is just a simple ground and pound team. I mean, it's multiple keys too, but the line, please, just block. I don't want Jadeveon Clowney to be in the backfield every single time because we played him last year. Yeah. He was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So look at that now. Like you said, just be physical and just lock him down and just play our game. That's just me. I love to hear what you guys think too, because I know I'm probably missing out on something. I really know I am.
Let us know in the chat room what you guys think the keys to victory are for the Ravens to beat the Titans this week.
Yeah, please. For score predictions, I'll be honest, don't hate me, don't unsubscribe. I'm not giving us the dub this week. I just can't. Right. I feel like we talked about this on Monday. No Calais, no Big Baby. Yeah. It's going to be a hard task to stop. I mean, I think we can do it, but if I'm a betting man, I'm going to go with the Titans. I'll go with 27-17.
27-17? Okay.
What are you thinking?
Shoot, man. It's tough to call. I mean, I know I was in agreement with you the other day about, saying that we'll probably lose this game. I do still think that we will lose this game only because it won't be, I don't think it'll be necessarily Lamar's fault, but I think we're probably going to lose time of possession because I think that our D-line is probably going to get tired. If they're smart, they'll go up tempo for a little while, I'm trying to tire out our front seven. Derrick Henry's probably going to, he's probably going to run all over us. I think he's going to average 7 yards a carry. So I think my score prediction would probably be, I still don't think they'll score a lot of points. So I'm going to go, oh man, this is tough because 27-17 seems like right on the dot. That seems like right on the money of what it could probably be because I don't see the Titans scoring a whole lot of points, like a boatload of points,
No, I
just
can't
think
either.
Because
like you said, they hold the ball.
Yeah, they hold the ball. I would say we could probably do 24-13. Okay. I think that we're really going to struggle.
That's like a real Joe Flacco type game, thinking about it. The 13 points. That's sad. But I see my guy rushing here. Tannehill, we talked about that. He is a big threat, and they love their play-action plays. And A.J. Brown, he can easily get behind the secondary. And then there's an easy touchdown. He's done it before. He had a quiet game last week against the Colts. But this is a different game. And I feel like if we just focus too much on the run, beat us with the pass. So, like I said, play our game. I think we can win it, but if I'm just going to be smart and give my true, honest feeling, we're going to take it out.
Yeah, if we're just being honest here, and, on the Purple Rain podcast here, we are, of course, we're Ravens fans, die hard through and through, but we have to be impartial. We cannot be biased, and that I feel like that's very important. So I do think that we'll, just like Alex, we'll probably end up losing this week, guys. If we do win, awesome. The stream on Monday is going to be lit. If we win, it's going to be lit on Monday. It'll be lit regardless, but
100%.
Look, man. Let's see. Zay King says 24-16 Baltimore. Marcus Peters, pick 6.
We haven't had MP Juice Man pick 6 this year, I think. Haven't we? No.
Not a pick
Forced
6.
a fumble.
No. Forced a fumble,
So
yeah.
he forced what? He forced a fumble against the Colts and had a pick against the Colts. No.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a pick.
He forced a fumble against the Steelers, too.
Yeah.
On Claypool.
Yeah, Claypool.
Yeah.
And did he have week 1? No, he shut down Odell. Week 2, he had a pick against the Texans, a great diving pick.
Yeah. I remember that. That was.
You know what? If I'm betting man, I think it's Peters is due for a turnover now.
Yeah.
So
he is.
It could. But speaking of next week, next Thursday is Thanksgiving, so we won't be live then. But we'll be live on Monday. And like I said, if we win on Monday, it'll be a good time because we'll also be previewing Thursday's game next week, which is Ravens Steelers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Man, oh man, am I looking forward to talk about that.
Yeah.
Good
absolutely. Real quick though, before we wrap up our preview, and we're gonna get to a little bit of fantasy football talk, so get your fantasy football questions and stuff like that ready. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit about the Thursday night game that's going on tonight, the Cardinals versus the Seahawks, which is gonna be a banger.
2 MVP candidates going at it: Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. Our guy Christopher Swain, he says, I said this before, but the D-line has got to knock back, and the linebackers have got to fill. That is very, very important. You know, I was saying it earlier in the podcast, like guys like Malik Harrison, guys like LJ Fort, they're going to have to fill those gaps. You know what I mean? As soon as you see Derrick Henry get the ball, or when you know he's getting the ball, do not give him an easy running lane, because here's the thing about Derrick Henry. He's really explosive after he gets to that second level. He's damn near unstoppable.
It's not fair. Like, one man shouldn't be built that big and be that fast.
But the thing about Derrick Henry is you can drop him in the backfield.
Yeah.
You can drop him in the backfield. Yeah.
The Colts did it. The Colts corner came up and dropped him in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Peters did it last year in the playoffs, like one of the first plays. Yeah. I know Calais Campbell, he forced a fumble, I think, last year with them. I mean, it's definitely doable. I feel like it's kind of more in their head. Like, they look at him like, oh, I can't do this. But if you're not going to beat him physically, go for his legs. Just hold him to a leg and somebody will get there.
Right.
Just don't go for that big hit and just wrap up football. Just simple football.
Wrap up. I mean, I hope we don't do that thing where we're trying to, like, you know, force the turnover. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, force the turnover, but don't force the turnover. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I hope we don't do any of that where he gains like 5, 6, 7 extra yards because he's just carrying guys, trying to punch it out of him. But that was by Christopher Swain. Thank you, bro, for, you know, giving us that key to victory. That is a huge key to victory. So let's see. Fantasy talk. All right, guys. So this is going to be, I guess it's going to become like a normal little segment that we do on the Purple Rain podcast. Or if you have any fantasy questions for us, if you have any advice you just want a second opinion on something like that. Of course, we're not like the experts of all experts, but, you know, been playing fantasy football for quite a while now. So if you have any questions or need some advice, you could definitely come to us and let us know. Ewok Plays, he says, I have Claypool and Deontay Johnson. Who do I start? What do you think about that, bro?
Man, I'm playing against both of them this week. So they're playing Jacksonville. Let me look. So Claypool in his past 3 games, 13. I play on ESPN. Don't know what you guys. I know my guy Sutton plays on NFL, right?
Yeah, NFL.
Okay, cool. So he's gotten 21 against Cincy, 15 against Dallas, 13 against the Ravens. Let me take a look at Deontay Johnson. 23 against Cincy, 14 against Dallas, 1 against Baltimore. Okay. Looking at that, I mean, both I think, would be a safe pick because it's Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I know Devontae Adams had a really good game against them last week. I'm not too sure. I know Alan Lazard didn't play. I think Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he broke off an 80-yard touchdown as well. So I feel like either one of them is safe, but if I'm going to go to pick one, I'm going to go Claypool because he is a beast in the red zone, and he's going to come down with that.
Yeah, Claypool, he's got that big play potential, man, and he finds his way in the end zone, you know, or finds his way to make a big play, and the big plays is what you really need in fantasy football because it's going to get you the most points. So, I mean, while Deontay Johnson, he may have more looks, he may have, they'll probably, you know, be kind of similar in targets. I might give the edge to Deontay Johnson in that, and of course, in fantasy football, we're chasing value and not only value but also volume. Volume is the word I'm looking for. We want value and volume. We want guys who are getting the ball, you know, often. But Claypool, he just got that big play factor. I think 2-3 years from now, Claypool is going to be like a wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. But that's just my opinion. So let's see. KLA hurts. Sports. I know it does hurt. Hopefully guys like Marlon Humphrey can lock him up in years going forward. But KLA Sports, he says Christian Kirk or Amari Cooper.
Oh, this week. Oh man, wow. Okay, let's see what Christian Kirk's been doing. I really haven't been keeping up because obviously we've all been focused on D-Hop and what that catch. So I really can't get over it.
Oh, just amazing.
Wow. Okay, so he put up only 7 points against Buffalo, but his 3 games before, 23, 21, and 22. That was against
Murray
Dallas,
likes him.
Seattle.
Tyler likes him.
That was against Dallas, Seattle, and Miami. Put up 20. He had 2 touchdowns against the Seahawks last time they played. They play him tonight. Wow. And then Amari Cooper. He's going to have Andy Dalton throwing to him. But when Andy Dalton was quarterback the games before, I wasn't too high on him. So are they even playing this week? It's week 11, right?
Yeah, week 11.
Okay, so they play the Vikings this week.
Who's that? The Dallas Cowboys? They play the Vikings.
Yeah, the Bears. Robinson got his targets against the Minnesota secondary. I mean, I wouldn't play Cooper. I would play Christian Kirk. I just don't trust that Dalton and Cooper. And the way the Vikings defense looked against the Bears, they look scary.
Yeah, you know what? I'm honestly going to go with Christian Kirk as well. Christian Kirk and D-Hop, they are, and I think I said this on the last episode, they're one of the more underrated wide receiver duos in the league. Christian Kirk is a very, very good receiver, and Kyler Murray does seem to, draw a liking to him outside of DeAndre Hopkins. So I think that we could probably expect to see Christian Kirk probably get off this week, honestly, against a very, very, very weak Seattle wide receiver defense.
Yeah.
They're very bad against wide receivers.
They just put Quentin Dunbar on IR as well. He's one of my favorite corners. I'm a huge fan of corners. The cornerback position, to me, it's the second hardest behind quarterback. It's because you really can't be physical because there's a flag. And speaking of corners, I don't know how I forgot this. The Ravens claimed a corner off of waivers.
Yeah.
Devontae Harris. Yeah. I know you guys don't know about my video and his tape. It comes with the bad. He does get beat a lot, but he was the number 1, number 2 corner in Denver because AJ Boye was out. So he was coming up against some top caliber receivers, but the plays he made were against 3s, 4s. So he won't be our 1 or 2. He won't be our 3. He'll be a special teams guy as well as 4s and 5s. Solid pickup. I like it. He'll make his plays. But if he gets burned, it's only if Peters, Humphrey, J. Smith go down. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, definitely a very solid depth option for us at DB. Let's see. Our guy Rush says Ray Lewis versus Derrick Henry, 1v1 in the A gap. Who you got?
I'm taking Ray Lewis against any. You put God against Ray Lewis. I'm taking Ray Lewis.
I'm taking Ray Lewis.
I'm taking Ray.
God up the middle, and he stopped short by Ray Lewis.
I saw somebody was just it was the Eddie George versus Ray Lewis. Eddie George got demolished by Ray Lewis before, so it's that's not even a debate now. So I'm taking Ray anytime.
Ray Lewis is I miss that guy. I think my favorite Ray Lewis play of all time, and I just went real quick, my favorite Ray Lewis play of all time was against the Chargers when he shut down LaDainian Tomlinson to seal the game. Oh my goodness.
Was it LT? Glorious. Was it LaDainian Tomlinson?
Wasn't it LT?
Him or Darren Sproles. One of the two.
One of them, but he blew that play up, man.
For the game.
The instinct
that was
for the game. He literally called game on that play. That was crazy, but
I'm happy I was able to say I witnessed Ray Lewis that.
Yeah, that's such a cool thing. Let's see. So KLA Sports, he also says, which 2 do I start? So pick 2: Amari Cooper, Tyler Boyd, or Christian Kirk. So I'm gonna go Christian Kirk, and it's tough between Boyd and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper. Here's the thing about Amari Cooper. He's still the number 1 receiver on that Dallas offense. So I feel like he's going to get his looks regardless. But Joe Burrow has been playing very, very well. Passing the ball, I believe he's like fringe top 10 in passing yards. So they're throwing the ball a boatload of times over in Cincinnati, especially while Joe Mixon is out. So I think that, you really can't. It's hard to decide between the two. But if I had to choose, I'm probably going to go Amari Cooper and Christian Kirk for that.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to go Christian Kirk and Tyler Boyd.
Boyd.
Oh, God, something's popped. Okay. So Boyd plays the Washington football team. I want to take a look at how the Lions receivers did against him last week. I believe it was Marvin Jones had burned one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Marvin Jones had 8 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. And it's the thing with the Bengals, I just don't get who their number one receiver is. It's not AJ Green.
Yeah.
T. Higgins is, I want to say they're 2. I think Tyler Boyd's number 1. But if you want to be safe, right, Cooper and Kirk. If you want to take a risk, Boyd and Kirk. Why not?
Yeah. I think that Cooper and Kirk would definitely get you the points you need in order to put yourself in a good position to win. Let's see. Zach George, he says Marquise Hollywood Brown, so our guy, or Sammy Watkins.
Oh.
That's another tough one. Because, the thing about Sammy Watkins, he plays on an offense with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Mecole Hardman and DeAndre Robinson, and all those guys. And most importantly, Patrick Mahomes, who can just spread the ball out to anywhere, whenever. But the thing about Marquise Brown is that he's really not getting all that many looks. So I'm probably going to go and fire up Sammy Watkins over Hollywood Brown this week.
Can I say neither? Because Sammy Watkins hasn't played since week 6.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't? I thought he came back.
He's been out.
Oh.
So I look at Marquise Brown. He hasn't had a good game since week 5. Neither of them had. One's been playing and hasn't done anything, and one hasn't been playing and hasn't done anything. Can you get anybody else? Because I just want to believe Marquise Brown's going to have that game. I feel like if they're missing their corners and a safety, I feel like you just got to take Marquise. But if there's anybody out there on the waiver wire, just pick them. It's probably a safe bet. If you can, tell me who's in the waiver wire in your league, and I know we would love to talk about who would be the best fit.
Because there's a lot of guys that you could probably pick up, depending on how deep your league is. There's definitely a good amount of wide receivers that you can just kind of plug and play, Stream options, really good stream options to go week to week with. But if I had to pick, I did not know that Sammy Watkins was out for that amount of time. But at the same time, if he's a full participant in practice and he's ready to go this week, I might still go with Sammy Watkins, honestly, because Hollywood Brown is just
inconsistent.
You kind of know he's very inconsistent, and you know what you're getting with Hollywood Brown at this point in the season. He's only going to get maybe what his average targets. I'm not sure, but it really doesn't seem like he gets a whole lot of looks, especially not downfield, which is what you're looking for.
Or when he does, he doesn't provide any separation, and we get picked off.
So yeah, man. Marquise Brown this year without Yonda on the line or Stanley, giving Lamar time to let Hollywood Brown's routes develop, not a huge fan. So I'd probably go Sammy Watkins. Let's see. Didi says Sammy Watkins or Chase Claypool. I'm definitely going Claypool on that. Gus Bus or Jerome Bettis. Who you got?
Gotta be Jerome.
Definitely got to be the bus, the real bus. Let's see. Ewok Play says, should I start Michael Thomas this week?
Okay.
I'm definitely starting Michael Thomas this week. I'm not sure what your other options are, though, but you got to start.
That is true. But no matter who's at quarterback for the Saints, I feel like he's great in a PPR league. Yeah. I know Jameis is at quarterback. Crab legs, eating W's, Jameis. Yeah. But I feel like you just got to start him. They're playing the Falcons. Falcons' defense is not good. And he's going to get his targets. He's going to catch it. So I definitely easily start Michael Thomas.
Gavin Berger, shout out to you, bro. He says, is Lamar a start this week?
Ooh.
I think Lamar's a start every week, honestly.
I feel like someone of his caliber who can not only pass it but run it, you got to start Lamar. Just because he'll get you the points on the ground as well. So I feel like you just got to start him. Now, if you have a backup, let us know. Maybe we can debate that. Maybe you have somebody else, but I feel like Lamar is a start.
definitely. I think Lamar is a start too. Let's see. I think I was having a. I want to ask you a question, Alex, and I want to ask the chat a question as well. So I have my own little fantasy football dilemma this week.
Let us hear it.
It's about wide receivers. So I'm trying to figure out who I should start between. By the way, Gavin, you said you have Josh Allen. I think that you should probably. Who do the Bills play this week?
He's on a bye. I have him too. It's unfortunate.
Oh, Josh Allen. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, come on now. Yeah. Lamar, start Lamar.
How did they let you get Josh Allen and Lamar? That's what I want to know.
That's a little weird. But my fantasy dilemma that I have going on, I'm trying to figure out what wide receiver to start between three guys. 1, Jerry Jeudy, Denver receiver. 2, Travis Fulgham, Eagles receiver. And 3, Jamison Crowder, the Jets receiver.
Okay. Who do the Jets play?
The Jets play the Chargers, who are ranked 7th against the pass, wide receivers.
And then who's Fulgham playing against?
So the Eagles play Cleveland.
And who was the first? It was Jerry Jeudy. Yeah,
Jeudy, Crowder, or Fulgham.
Wow. So I know Drew Lock isn't looking good to play this week. Has Fulgham got his? I know he was looking good, but I know Rager's come back.
Yeah.
I mean, has his targets went down? Has his catches went down?
Oh, yes. So the first week that Alshon Jeffrey, Jalen Reagor, those guys are all back and the Eagles look healthy again, he gets 5 targets as opposed to the 10 he was averaging when they were out. So basically his production was cut in half. Last week he had 5 targets and only 1 reception for 8 yards. So, yeah.
Wow.
He definitely pooped his pants last week, and I was not happy about that.
Wow. I want to say it's between Jeudy and Crowder now. It's really between those two.
And you said Drew Lock, he might not play.
Yeah,
I might have to go Crowder and just trust in Flacco to get him the ball.
Now, Jeudy, from weeks, I think 3 to 6, I want to say, Lock was out. What was his numbers looking like?
Let's see. Weeks 3 to 6. So week 3 he had 8 points. Week 4 he had 13, 5 when they were on a bye, and then week 6 he had 4. So pretty pedestrian numbers. 13 is a good game for like a wide receiver 2, 3. So, but yeah.
They played the Steelers week 2, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what do you get in that game?
So against the Steelers in week 2, Jerry Jeudy had 7 targets for 4 catches, 62 yards. Yeah, that's it.
So because that's when Locke got hurt that game. Wow, man, I think Crowder. I guess you're gonna go Crowder.
Yeah, I probably should. I probably will go with Crowder. Crowder is he's clearly the number 1 receiver in New York for the Jets.
Yeah,
it's just that Flacco has to get him the ball, And this week they play against the Chargers, so I feel like the Chargers are gonna put up points.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, he's gonna get the ball to Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. One of those guys, and they're going to put up points on the Jets, and the Jets are going to have to throw the ball to come back.
Since we're talking about Herbert, I know Herbert's your guy,
yeah,
and I know our guy Gavin said Herbert's on his waivers. Did you see Herbert's new haircut?
I did.
I don't like it. I like the flow. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it.
I don't know, man. I'm hoping the haircut really takes him to a new level. Like he's just not playing around anymore, because that would be awesome for my fantasy squad.
Easily.
But let's see. Ewok Play says Flacco loves his deep threats. That he does.
100%.
Dr. Didi says D-Hop or A.J. Brown. I'm going to go with D-Hop every time.
Easily.
I mean, A.J. Brown, he's going to be getting covered by Marlon Humphrey. No other than Marlon Humphrey. Or Marcus Peters. So I wouldn't really put too much stock into A.J. Brown. Yes, he has big play potential, but D-Hop has bigger play potential, and we all know that.
I'm actually, so A.J. Brown's my number 1 receiver. I'm thinking about benching him this week. I see our guy Zach George asked about the waiver wire, and a name that really, I have Henry Ruggs too. He's one of my favorite rookies. I said that before.
Yeah.
But a guy you mentioned that I really like in that group, either T. Higgins or Michael Pittman, because Michael Pittman has put up numbers these past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I know he's playing the Packers, but the Jags just did a great job of keeping up with that same Packers team.
That's true.
So I feel like to be safe, I say Higgins, but if you want to boom or bust, I go Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I'd probably go Michael Pittman Jr. as well. My only worry about him is that because who did the Colts play this week again? You said Jacksonville.
Packers.
Oh, Packers. Yeah.
So because the Packers played the Jags last weekend, it came down to the final drive.
Yeah. That game could definitely be a shootout. The Colts could definitely find themselves in a situation where they have to throw the ball a lot. So Michael Pittman Jr., I think he's actually a good option. Pick him up off your waiver wire, like while he's still available. Just do it. Henry Ruggs is a nice option. You should see you have Crowder on your waiver wire as well. Sheesh, yeah. For me, it's between
T. Higgins has put up points too.
T. Higgins has put up his points, so I'll probably say, like you said, T. Higgins and Michael Pittman Jr. off the waiver wire. Pick those guys up, Zach. Now, do it now.
See, the only way. See, if I want to throw you another curveball, Henry Ruggs' best game this year was against the Chiefs, and they played them again this week. But I feel like Ruggs would be locked up. He had that big long touchdown against them, and he had a play where he mossed like 2 Chiefs defensive backs. Yeah. But I can't really expect that again. So, and actually, I'm a Chiefs fan this week because we need the Raiders to lose, just because of the wild card.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now. It's like we kind of start rooting for other teams. So
we got to start rooting for other teams.
Whoever plays the Raiders, I'm rooting for you.
Man, I love being in control of our own destiny, like we were last year. But let's see. All right, so real quick, Didi says Pittman or Claypool. I'm gonna go Claypool on that one.
100%.
Also, another quick question before we get to our Thursday night football predictions and we wrap up for today. Gavin Berger says, how do you think Nick Boyle's injury will negatively affect us against the Titans? Just real quick, I think that Nick Boyle's injury is definitely going to affect us very, very heavily in our outside runs, plays where like play action and stuff like that, where we're relying on Nick Boyle to get to the first, second level of blocking. We're going to miss him a lot there, and we're going to see what Luke Wilson and Mark Andrews, if they step up to the plate, and they bring it when it comes to the blocking aspect. So in what ways will Nick Boyle's injury negatively affect us? Of course, the blocking and the run game pretty much all the way over. I mean, I heard you, and I heard Alex say earlier in the podcast that, in that Titans game when we played them last year, after he went down, we had like a 22-point deficit against them. So, I think that there will be a lot of ways that Nick Boyle's injury will negatively impact us against the Titans. And I think Greg Roman also realizes that. And that's why he says the offense is going to change. So I think we'll see a lot more of Lamar.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I feel like Nick Boyle, best blocker on that offense. That's not a lineman. And he's just going to hurt, not in the, like we said, more in the blocking rather than pass catching. I mean, he's a great pass catching tight end, but just the blocks. He'll go out there and he'll just throw one. He'll end up taking out 2 guys because the guy he takes out has a guy behind him. That's 2 guys. It's just the option plays, like you said, the outside runs. And sometimes even the inside runs, you have the tight end come around and he'll block somebody there. So it's going to hurt. This injury, I think this is kind of the one that I'm surprised the whole Stanley one, we didn't see it more. But I guess it's Boyle. They're going to say they're going to rip up the offense and go again. But I mean, here's just having a prayer circle, just hoping this offense works.
Just hoping. We're just hoping. That's all we're doing at this point, man. But thank you for your question, Gavin. If you guys are still watching, even if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel because we're going to be putting out content, every week, talking Ravens football, talking NFL stuff, talking fantasy football, and even more stuff coming soon in the future as well. If there's anything else you would like us to talk about outside of NFL football, so other sports perhaps, let us know that too.
Please.
Please. And then also, let's see, Gavin Berger, he says, okay, I appreciate all the help in fantasy. LOL, good luck to both of you and your channels. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, bro. That means the world to us. Yes, really absolutely. But Thursday night football. Alex, who do you got? Seahawks, Cardinals.
Do you remember when they last played on Sunday Night Football?
I did, but I fell asleep after halftime.
Okay. Russell Wilson steps back. Throws the 1 yard line. We've seen this before.
Oh yeah.
Picked off by one Buda Baker. He has a clear shot to the end zone. DK Metcalf runs.
I did see that play.
I didn't know he was that fast. But when I think of Cardinals Seahawks, I'm thinking of that play. But Seahawks lost that game, which is still crazy to think. Um, Kyler and the Cardinals are coming off that big win, the Hail Mary. Confidence is up here.
Yeah.
The Seahawks coming off of two losses. Yeah, one to the Bills, one to the Rams.
They're gonna be hungry.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks for this reason. I feel like DK Metcalf was locked down last week by Jalen Ramsey. Tyler Lockett is active. I think Russ just needs to get out of his own head, play the way he plays, and the defense, even if they just play average, they can just win the game. Just hold them to, I'd say, 28 points or less because your offense is dynamic.
Yeah.
Seahawks will put up points. It's in Seattle. I don't know if there's any fans. That really doesn't matter anymore. But just true hunger-wise, I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I feel like the Cardinals might be getting a little cocky. I mean, I said that about I know the Ravens last year, the same thing happened. But we didn't lose after, week 4. Kyler's a different quarterback than these Kyler Lamar debates. They're two different players. Please stop it. Stop it now. Yeah. But I'm going to go with the Seahawks. It's going to be a great game. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, it is going to be a great game, and I can't wait to watch. But I think that I'm gonna go with the Cardinals on this one, man. I feel like the Cardinals have all the juice right now. You know what I mean? And I think most importantly, the connection between Kyler Murray and D-Hop has been solidified. And what I mean by that, the trust that Kyler Murray now has in DeAndre Hopkins is going to be second to none. So defenses are going to have to realize that and actually, put more attention and pay more attention to DeAndre Hopkins, which can open up opportunities for guys like Christian Kirk, open up opportunities for guys like Andy Isabella, even Max Williams, guys like that, just, because everybody's going to be trying to play on DeAndre Hopkins. And you see what happens when you try to go all out and stop DeAndre Hopkins. You could put 3 guys on him. If he wants to catch that ball, he's going to catch that ball. 3 guys. So, I think that the Cardinals will definitely come out firing on all cylinders. And I think that it'll be a close one again. But I've got the Cardinals edging out the Seahawks by, I think, a touchdown. I think they'll beat them by a touchdown. And then the Seahawks bounce back next week.
I see our guy Ewok says, do you think the Seahawks will beat the Cardinals by 4.5 points? I think even if they were to win, it's going to be by a field goal. So it's going to be close no matter what. We go for different teams, but we both agree it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to say it. Whoever has the ball last will win. I mean, both of the quarterbacks have proven this year that they can go down the field and win you a game. So
it's going to be good. That spread, I don't know if they're going to cover that, Ewok. I mean, hopefully they do. I don't know if you bet money on it, but,
best of luck to you if you did.
Yeah, definitely. Best of luck to you. But, yeah, man, this has been the Purple Rain Podcast. We're going to go ahead and let you guys go for this episode. If you've been watching this live for the entire time, shout out to you. If you just joined us, shout out to you. If you joined about halfway through, shout out to you as well. Yeah. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel. And also, like we said, next week, we're going to be doing one stream on Monday, reviewing the Titans game and previewing the Steelers game coming up on Thanksgiving.
Don't miss it. You're not going to want to miss it because I know this for a fact. I'm going to get emotional when it's Ravens Steelers. Been a fan my whole life, growing up in Baltimore. So it's like, this isn't just any other game,
Right.
Ravens Steelers this is real. This is real. So it's going to be fun previewing it. Let's hope our Ravens come out as 7-3. But, I'm bracing myself to be 6-4. I'm not going to shy away from it.
Yeah.
But we're going to have some fun no matter what. Win, lose, or draw. We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy everybody came through tonight. And hopefully best of luck in fantasy for everybody. Best of luck in school, work, all that. And hopefully y'all are staying healthy and staying safe.
Yeah. What's the quote?
Stay positive, test negative.
Test negative. Yes, sir. That's what we like to hear. We're going to sign off on you guys today. Like, subscribe, all the other stuff. We'll catch you guys in the next one, okay? Cool. Peace.